Now, when I was reading your biodata, there was a phase in your life that you delved into politics, and you were part of the key personalities that started a new movement in terms of bringing the paradigm shift in the political space of Nigeria. Now, can you just give us some description? You know, when somebody hears about politics in Nigeria, usually there's a negative sense that comes with it. As a Christian and as somebody who has a clear ideological worldview that works towards improving the lives of people, how did you cope in that space, and what was your experience like?
Politics is very interesting and very lovely, to be honest with you. And for me, the journey into political activism began when I was a child, back to my early childhood days. I grew up almost on the streets. I grew up like Dandava in many ways, what you call area boys in Lagos. I grew up in the city of Kano, moving with cable on my west, because when we go to play football, if you go to an area that is not your own, if you don't know how to fight, sometimes you may not be able to find your way home, especially if you win the match. You know, so you have to fight your way and bully yourself through the people. I grew up like that, and I understand human interactions from as early as a young boy. And when I was in secondary school, that kind of expanded, and I began to advocate for the rights of people. I think deep inside me, and it's important people discern what they are raised for, what they are born for. Every human being has a purpose, and it's good to discern what your purpose is and to live or lead in that direction. And again, train up a child in the way he should go. Where is the child you are raising going to? Can you aid him in that journey? And many things have impacted on that. So from secondary school, I began to advocate for people. I hate injustice. Wherever it is found, I hate it. I don't fight. And you can check that out with my mother and with my siblings. I'm an easygoing person. I don't like trouble. But if I see injustice being meted to someone, I buy it. If you do it to me, you can go free. But if you do it to someone, I buy it. It becomes my fight. I think I was like Moses when he saw a Jew being maltreated or a fellow Israelite being maltreated. He went and separated and killed that one, and that landed him into trouble. I'm that kind of person who has entered many troubles, not because of my fight, but because I was fighting for people. And then in secondary school, when I went to the Polytechnic, that blew. And I began to get involved in school politics, SUG elections. Of course, I didn't contest any office, but I understand the importance of politics. So I made sure that by the next SUG elections, whoever emerged as the SUG president must be someone that we endorse. And I stayed back praying. I was the FCS president. I loved Jesus. I was literally a pastor on campus. And I went during the summer break. People went home for 3 months. I was back in school praying and asking God to give us victory. Going around the fence praying and saying, Lord, when they return on holiday, we declare, and then we worked for it. And of course, our candidate won with many other people that we put. That was a foretaste. I didn't know that I was going to go into the political space. It was activism I was cut out for. But I realized that there is a thin line between activism and politics. You can keep shouting against injustice, but those who have political power can decide what becomes of you. And then one day I was teaching Introduction to Philosophy, and I touched on political philosophy. And my student asked, but sir, this thing you are saying is just theory. Now, have you ever been a politician? Do you have are you a party member? Do you have a card of any political party? And I said, no. And when I went back that evening, when I went back home and I stood in the place of prayer, I felt the Lord was impressing on my heart to go into the political space so that I can earn the legitimacy to instruct people on politics. Because whatever you tell people, they may not take it seriously because they think you are a novice. That's number one. Number two, God also imprinted on my heart clearly the picture of prayer and action. And he says, when you are praying, God, change this nation. Who are the people that God is going to use to change this nation? And he says, what if, Ishaya, you are the answer to prayer? And so we began to advocate for New Nigeria and entered a political party and did what we did. And someday I will tell you the pepper soup that I had to drink being in a political space. It's not easy, but my conclusion from my finding is that politics is amoral. Politics is not evil. It's amoral. It lacks moral quality. And when a good person with a good heart takes hold of political power, he advances the causes of good. When an evil person takes hold of political power, he advances causes that are evil. It's like money. Money is not evil. But when a good person has money, many people rejoice because he can help the poor, the orphans, the widows, the marginalized. And when a bad person or wicked, evil person has money, he uses it to make life difficult for other people. So, and of course, another example is sex. Sex is not evil, sex is good. But when you use it outside of marriage, then it becomes evil because God has prescribed it, so it's sin. But when in marriage you use it, it's good and it's not sin. So you see, you can look at all of these things. So I say that politics is interesting. Politics is good. I am not in any political party right now. But what I am doing, the work I am doing is politics. So what is politics? Politics is simply human interaction. Wherever you have two people discussing on what should be done, or what ought to be done, or what ought not to be done, that is a political conversation going on. So whether it is in the church or in the mosque or in the home, that is politics, just simple basic human interaction. And so what I am doing as an advocate for justice is politics in many sense because it's a political engagement, but it's not a party politics. And we don't take sides with any political party. We just want to advance the cause of peace and justice in our world.
All right, great. Thank you for letting us in on how you hoped when you were spending a lot of time in the political space. Now, you talked a little bit about your advocacy work currently. So can you build on that? What is it you do currently? What does your work entail, and how is it impacting on society and the national space currently?
This organization that I lead is called PSJ, Peace, Social Justice. The full name is International Organization for Peace Building and Social Justice. What we do is that we want to see safe communities where people are interacting harmoniously, irrespective of their religion, their ethnicity, or regionalism. So we are advocating primarily to stop the killings in Nigeria. This organization is a child of necessity because of the kind of killings going on in our nation. And all of you will agree with me that there is no nation where people die, people are killed, and are killed in a very inhumane way than Nigeria. Across the world, there is no nation like that. And so as a people, we can't stay quiet and not do something about it. And so that was what conceptualized and birthed this organization that I am working in. So we are doing three things basically, and plus one. One is we are advocating to stop the killings. And this we are doing with our policymakers, with our government, with community leaders and critical stakeholders and international communities. And to say, look, put pressure on Nigerian government to rise up and perform her duty, because the right is the duty of every government to ensure the welfare of our citizens and the security of our citizens. So wherever you don't see good welfare, or wherever you don't see protection, it means that the government is not doing what they ought to do. And wherever government is allowed to do what they want to do without the people calling them to account or to order, government can become ruthless. Why? Because they are custodians of power. And power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So that's what we are doing. The second thing we are doing is we are also advocating to run an inclusive government. By that we mean, and again, because the word inclusivity could mean different things to different people. But for us, what it means is that let every Nigerian be included. If you are qualified for anything, you shouldn't be stopped because of your ethnic group, because of your religion, because of your gender. If you are qualified, take it, let it be given to you. So run an inclusive government. And then the third one is raise new leaders. And so we do a lot of trainings of new leaders. Why? Because we believe every leader is raised from amongst the people. And if we don't begin to raise leaders consciously, intentionally, and in a systematic way from the grassroots, we will have a generation coming that nothing called law or order would be seen. And so we are doing that. And then lastly, which is an addition, is climate action. We believe that you can't talk about peace and justice without looking at some of the precursors. So globally, people are coming to terms with the reality that global warming is affecting or causing some of the crises we are seeing. So you hear people say herdsmen that are coming to the Middle Belt and killing people and destroying their farms are coming from the Sahel because of desertification. So they are migrating to where they could find grazing reserves for their cows and things like that. So we need to look at what is causing this climate change and begin to advocate for it. So these are some of the things we do here as an organization. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in today's episode of Verity Talks. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. See you again on the next episode of Verity Talks. Thank you and God bless.